Welcome to Big Fan Podcast. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Kevin, the creator. And today we got guest hosts Jacqueline, Marielle, John. Thank you guys for coming on. All right. So we're here to talk about Carly Russell. She was abducted. Is the story. And you know a lot about it. Explain it to the listeners.
So on July 13th, there was an abduction made for her. She stated that, what happened was she stated that she saw a toddler on I think it was I-459 on the interstate, and she pulled over. Like, they have footage of it where she's saying that she sees a toddler. She explains that it's a boy. She even states that she can tell that it's a little boy. Didn't look like the baby had like pants on, just in a diaper and a shirt. And she's stated that and then while she was on the phone, she hung up with the police after she explained it. Then she got on the phone with a family member and she was telling them, and then the family member was on the phone, and then at some point the Carly was screaming, and then the call ended. So then that's when they called the police and stated, that something happened to her, that she was abducted.
Yeah, but then recently they also they found her. She went home like 48 hours later.
Well, they didn't find her. She ended up at home.
They
at
found
the front
her.
door.
They found her at her house. Like, we got some questions. And there was also like a GoFundMe for like $55,000, and then so she just walked into her parents' house, like walked up to the door, started knocking and shit, and apparently she was in shock, so the medics had to deal with her, but she hasn't released any statements.
No.
And I would highly recommend not to release any statements, because anything she says right now could be used against her. She needs a lawyer. But and they're trying to hit her ass with some charges, but she stole from her job.
Yeah, she took like a robe, toilet paper, and they said other items. She worked at a Woodhouse spa in the Summit, it was called. But before during that day, so she was at work, she stole those items, and then she also ordered food at a nearby restaurant. She picked that food up, and then that's when she went on with her day, and she was driving, and then that happened. They also, how they found out, well, they also made the statement, the police, and what they said is that they had went through her Google search, and she was searching stuff like how to take money from register without being caught. She was Googling Birmingham bus station, and then she also Googled one-way bus ticket to Nashville, and the date was for July 13th. She also Googled the movie Taken. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then her whole story, I don't know if you guys heard it, but like how she told them what happened was that she seen the baby on the side. She got out, she was talking to the baby, she said, and a man came out the woods and grabbed her, threw her in the back of a semi, like a truck, and then she said that she heard a woman's voice, but she didn't see what she sounded like, and she heard the baby crying. And then she said that she was at a place, she ended up at a place, and then that they didn't have her handcuffed because she said that they didn't want to leave no marks on her. She said that they also fed. Oh, and before I say that, she did go to the store as well. She went to the store and bought like some snacks, and one of them were Cheez-Its. So in her story, she said that they fed her cheese crackers, and and they fed her cheese crackers, and then she said that they had took her clothes off, and she said they took pictures of her. And then she said that she tried to get away, but then they called her, and then when they called her, then somehow they took her back home. Like dropped her off in the area and she got back home.
God dang.
But you know, when someone is like obviously untruthful with themselves and can't be rooted in reality, they think they're fooling everybody. Everything that you said makes us sound like suspect number one. That's it. It ends right there for me. I mean, everything, the research you said she was doing. I mean, it do a child abduction. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she just made that part up. I hope there wasn't a child involved in it. It sounds like she made that part up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think she did.
I think the story is absolutely ridiculous, and you don't even have to ask that question, John, because if she lied about everything else, I mean,
That,
can't
right.
you believe that the child was placed in her mind too?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. The whole story doesn't make a bit of sense.
I just wanted to talk a little bit like mental health issues and stuff. Do you think that takes a play in this?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
a lot of people have been talking about like it could be mental health issues.
Yeah.
But they're like they think like when you go crazy or something that happens in one day. You know, it could be little things like you could be an intelligent person who's still having a breakdown, you know, and it could take time, but I'm not a doctor. Yeah.
The fact that she had a GoFundMe, I don't think
Right.
mental. We so quick in America to blame everything on being mental. This person was trying to get some money. Her family was trying to get some money. You know, it's hard times out here, and so people would do anything. So she have a motive already. If you read between the lines, like I did, I'm not gonna give her no excuse, sir.
No, I mean, she does sound mental. I can't think of a case, but her case sounds similar. Over the years, there have been people that would do a hoax. And then from the hoax, they got a lot of attention. I think it's seeking attention in some way and a distraction from what she did. She got caught at work and her mind is on the run. And you're right. I think she's been breaking down probably for a while. You know what I'm saying? A little here, a little there. And then finally, she came up with this ultimate, where she's going to get a lot of attention and a lot of sympathy. Raising that money is just, I think, a byproduct of her craziness. I think something's wrong with it. That's my impression.
I think she just wants the money.
Money.
Now I tell you who crazy. That guy from Empire who did something similar.
Jesse Smollett.
Yeah, made a lie up because he wasn't after no money and he just made a lie up. So I can say he's mental.
But he thought he was about to get fired.
Yeah, but this girl, she wanted some money, man. You know, I mean, she could have been smart and just had her OnlyFans.
No, but she had to have known this was going to blow up in her face. There's no way she was going to pull this off. I mean, you know, I don't know, man. People know, you know, they do their investigation.
She didn't think about it too much. She could have gave it some more thought.
She thought about it. She was Googling stuff.
I know,
she knew what she was doing.
No. Okay, if you want to say she's slow, if you want to give us some mental, then the way she put the story together.
See, but that's what Kevin says. Like you could be smart, you could be very smart, but you can also have a mental breakdown. You know, like you can do, you know, that can happen. It's not impossible for it to happen to you just because you're smart. You know,
if she's mental, then Jackie, no jail time because she's mental.
Well, that's what they're gonna say.
Yeah,
that's what they're gonna do.
Right, we're gonna have to, you know, they're gonna have to do their work, due diligence. They gotta do their work. She needs to get proper care, and that just highlights how mental problems in the United States is a thing that people don't take serious. Like I said, this behavior is probably building up for a while, and the signs were around her, around everybody who saw her, who knew her. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, crazy is a crazy.
The word mental health is being thrown out a lot of places, and for sure, some people are really mental. You know what I mean? Right. And so when you got people that's playing mental, it takes away from the people that really is mental. But you got a lot of people committing crimes, and then the mental talk come in, you know. And I think that's cap. I don't think she's mental at all. I think that's just something that we can say. Because if you go with that mental and she gets away with this, slap on the wrist and some medicine or whatever in a hospital bed, then you're gonna have other people committing crimes and just say, I'm mental, I'm crazy.
Well, there's things
So
that could have led up to like her kind of doing this act. So like her boyfriend or whatever left her for like a stripper. She could have been doing this,
She also lost the baby.
lost the baby. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of things that build up to that pressure. And she could have been doing it to out of like spite towards the guy, to be like, okay, now you think I'm dead now. I got kidnapped and it wouldn't have happened if we would have stayed together. That had to have been rolling through the guy's head.
Sure.
yeah, but that's reaching. That's something that did
That's
happen.
not
Maybe
reaching. That's not reaching.
it's a little reaching. You reaching out a little bit because you just
No.
think you ain't gonna look at the obvious. The obvious that the woman wanted some money. She already tried to rob a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't
But
get
that's
that part.
but that's part of a mental illness. That's one of the symptoms. I don't think she understands that
Okay, then that
concept.
means Don Dillinger is mental then.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, different degrees.
Every person that tried to pursue some money in a criminal act is mental then. I'm gonna go rob the bank after this.
Right. Well, no, I mean, but there are different degrees of, not being politically correct. I mean, there's different degrees of craziness,
Stop.
Right. I mean, you talking to your shoulder like that, that's one degree. And there's other degrees. I mean, it heats up after a while. There's some that are extreme and some that are not, but it's still there because, like you said earlier, some of them can wear a normal face. They go to work every day. They might be odd, but they can function in society. But when they go home, that's when they let loose and they're the problems, But I mean, different.
In a lot of cases, you might be right, John. But I think in this case, I think it's safe to say she just wanted some money.
Yeah, part of it. I think that was part of it, not the whole.
So what was the end game? Like come home to your house and then just lie and hopefully people believe it, you think?
Man, pretty much. I don't think they think that far ahead.
She got enough sense to shut up now.
I think that she just it just went too far for her. It went too far that she didn't know it was going to go this far and was going to get this big. And where, like they said, where she messed up was calling the police. Like, say if it was her, or they're like saying something in her household that she's going through as well, or like even if it's about her boyfriend, like if she wanted to scare them, then she should have just scared them. But when she got the police involved, that's when it made it into this whole big old thing that, somebody was abducted. And then with everything going on right now, like how so many women are being abducted and stuff like that, they made it to the headlines. It made it to the headlines because it's like, okay, now these abductors are using children to, get people to stop and, do this stuff.
And that's exactly why it's not mental. You knew what you was doing. You knew that there's a lot of women missing, and you knew exactly what story that you can use. That's not mental. We need to stop saying mental stuff when people break the law. And if that's the case, then everybody that's breaking the law is mental then. And we know that ain't true.
I mean, crazy people can build complicated bombs and decide to blow things up and people if they choose.
That's not mental. How is that mental? It's evil. Evil just don't make no sense. We got a woman that's hopping out of her car. Is she mental? We got a woman hopping out of her car, running up on women with their kids with baseball bats, threatening to beat the kid up, and then actually beating the mother up with the bat. That's probably mental. That's probably mental right there. But this other stuff, this case right here, I don't see nothing mental about it. I see a person that know exactly what they was doing. And if you is looking for some type of attention, that don't make it mental neither. That just means we live in a society where a lot of people looking for attention, clicks and likes. Some people just willing to, go out there and just be hardcore with it. That's all. She's a hardcore person that wanted attention then, and she got that attention. She succeeded. That's not mental. That's a evil genius.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's crazy.
I lean towards mental. I
That's
leave them
that's
alone.
that because you a nice guy, John. You giving her the benefit of the doubt, but she ain't mental.
No, I mean, people in this country, man, there's a lot of people struggling, mentally, and the pressure she was feeling. I mean, Jackie giving me all that background, it's softening me. Now, I was feeling the way you were feeling, but everything that she added to the story made her seem more relatable because I understand, it's not for me, but I understand, some people just break. And when they break, they think what they're going to do is going to bring attention and celebrity for a few moments. And everything is just going to feel okay. Whatever is making her feel bad, she's looking for the ultimate, I'm going to feel good. And don't think it through. She didn't really think it through because that's when
She
the
had
mind.
some issues. She
has
had
some-
everybody got some issues. If you go, everybody that done a crime has a backstory of other things that's going on in their life other than that situation. And so if you just go grab something like maybe somebody's mother died a year ago or something, is we gonna say that that person is mental? You gonna, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna keep throwing the mental stuff out there. People got to take accountability for their actions. You know, she
So
made a
what should she
conscious
be charged with then?
from lying.
To just going to hell.
She should be charged with somebody, because we gotta look at the fact
So
that there's people missing for real,
yeah.
and they could have been working on that case instead of working on this, giving they time and energy to her lying. You know what
So
I mean?
about the mental, like, okay, how you're saying like it's not mental, but you know how when you break, well, like when people break up, and then there's women and men that do stuff, and they do these things where they break your windows, they I don't know, bleach your clothes and all this stuff, right? So when they're doing these things, they're not in the right like mental state. So that's why we say it's like a
Yes,
mental
they is,
problem.
Jackie. Yes,
No,
they
they're
is.
not. If
They
they were,
weak,
they wouldn't
weak
do
man,
that.
weak man.
If they were, they wouldn't do that.
Oh, you hurt. So what? So every time you argue with Kevin, right? And you go and you get a little angry. Are you mental at that time?
No, yep. I ain't in my right state of mind, I'll tell you that.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. That's not taking accountability for things, because I know you're not mental.
But for real, like you gotta understand, like when somebody gets to that point, they're not like there, like their mind is not thinking straight. They're not thinking right. That's
I'm
what
not gonna say
it's
that make them
mental.
mental. You maybe you're not thinking because you letting anger control what your thoughts right now. But that ain't mental. Stop trying to. You see, you
But
wanna
it
you wanna
is
go to
mental,
this
because if
mental
you
stuff.
have, okay,
It
but
ain't
if
no
people are at
mental.
that point, and they cannot like control their anger, control their emotions, they are mental. That means they need some guidance. That means they need some help to be able to control these emotions and
Then there's
thoughts
no
and
such thing
feelings.
as a criminal then, Jackie. There's no such thing as even wrongdoing then. That's what y'all saying today. There's no
Oh, no.
such thing as
No,
wrongdoing.
there is, because there's people that do it with with intent, intentions to do it, like they want to
She
do it
had
and
her
they
intent.
know
She
that
had
they're
her
gonna.
intent. Her intent was to get some money, which she got to go fund,
I
right?
don't think she wanted to get money. That's the thing. I don't
This
think she
woman
wanted
thought
to
it
get
out.
money.
She didn't do something at the spare of the moment. She wasn't in the spare of the moment. This woman made a plan up and followed that plan. That's not mental, Jackie. That's not mental.
No, I mean, like I was saying earlier, people with mental problems can still do some complex planning.
I'm
Her
glad
plan
y'all not on the jury. Y'all let a
was,
murderer go.
remember, I said degrees. Remember, different degrees of strength.
Yeah.
You mentioned, how you wouldn't do something. I mean, maybe your mind is stronger. Maybe you won't fall for the
Oh,
okie
I know
doke.
my mind's strong.
But a lot of
You got functional crazy people, just like you would have a functional alcoholic. Somebody could go to work every day fucking drunk as hell and still do an okay job.
Right.
right, can probably fly a plane, do something complicated, drunk.
Exactly.
One day they'll burn up, and one day they'll just get them. But sometimes they can do anything, But different degrees, man. Remember, not everybody's the same. It's not one way or the other.
I'm not gonna make her that special though, because if it applies to her, let it apply to everybody who make a mistake. Then they everybody mental. Then that's what it boils down to.
No, so what they got to charge her with is like theft, for sure, for like stealing from her job, even though it was like petty theft. And then, they're saying like false police report, but I'm not,
So she wasn't in
yeah.
her right mind to the point where she, she not only did she do a crime, but she went out of her way to get away with it. Yeah, that's very mental, I guess. That ain't
So you
mental
know
at all.
how like you're saying she should get in trouble for it. Like I believe that she should get in trouble. Also, I'm not saying just because it was mental, she shouldn't have no consequences to it. Like there should
No,
be
Jackie, if she's
consequences.
actually
Maybe
truly
like
mental,
probation.
you know what mental mean? You not in control. If
Probation.
she's not in control, then why should she get any trouble?
Because
Do
she
you
needs
really?
help. Because she needs help.
Okay, well, is locking her up gonna give her help if she's mental? Because I tell you what, a crazy person, you could do with it. You can lock a crazy person up if he's truly crazy.
Yeah, but there's different kind of
He's gonna be like that no
mental
matter. Oh, you
like
could say that all day. You could
problems
say
and
it all day.
situations.
That you know what?
Not
Whoever
there,
came
it's
up
not
with that
one
type of
category.
topic, I know. I understand that, Jackie. And her category don't seem mental at all. She seemed like she knew what she was
Oh.
doing. She knew what she was doing, and that's what it is. You done stole from the job, right? You ain't snapped back into you ain't snapped back into reality right then. Then you
My
went
thing is
and
like,
concocted another story up. Then you're gonna say because of a
Hey,
boyfriend. That's called weak man in your
right,
feelings.
hey,
That's what that's called.
police want to talk with her. They're gonna have a talk with her, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. No, I know she said something traumatic happened to her, but you need to speak to people. So they're waiting on her. I know that. So let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let us hear how she comes off, because one thing a liar can't do is tell the truth, especially when they're speaking to the public. Her body will tell the truth if she does a press conference, if she does something like that.
I got a question for you, John.
Yeah.
Let's say they catch this woman, and because everybody wanna, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but certain people wanna holler mental illness, right? And let's say they let her talk to a psychiatrist and they evaluate her, and the psychiatrist come to the conclusion this person not mental. Would you change your story then?
I mean, then obviously, I think so. But if someone were to like diagnose her as just being, I mean, I guess so. But in my heart of hearts, that I can't really truly give you a real answer, because my heart says that she mental. She got some problems. Something's wrong.
But
Something ain't
I know,
right.
yeah, your heart says that now. But I'm talking about with a professional person who
Yeah.
went to school for this. Y'all trust the system. I don't, but you trust
No,
the
no.
system.
I can
look at
be
them putting
convinced,
words in everybody's mouth. You
right?
said.
I mean, in the scientific method, sure. If it's been proven to me, I mean, that's the mark of intelligence. If I've been proven, given information to contradict what I believe, then the findings are better than what I think, then I'll take into consideration. I could change my view. I doubt it. That's what I'm saying. I doubt it.
I'm looking at a person that concocted a story,
Yeah,
followed up with it, and everything. Came back
right.
home. I seen a picture of the girl. She, I don't see no
Right.
sign of mental. She put together very nice on that. She don't look mental. I don't think she's mental. It's a no for me. I don't think she's mental.
Well, I got a question though.
If we took mental health serious in this country, we took it serious like we do the body, because we don't treat the mind like the body. And the mind is an extraordinary organ, and it does so much. So it having problems is a common thing. Think about it. Your brain does a lot. So it breaking down and you hallucinating, and seeing things, those are byproducts of something wrong with the brain. Now, all I'm suggesting is, if we did take it serious, we can cut down on the number of crazy people doing crazy shit if we pay attention to them, but we should, but we don't. Label them one way or another. That's kind of hard to do, because not everybody will throw shit, but some people will. But they both
we
have
gotta
mental.
go about it. We gotta go about it a smart way, because the way that y'all talking, everybody gonna say they crazy. Everybody gonna play crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna have people getting away with heinous acts of violence and everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
With how y'all going about it.
that is
This
true.
person is a
But
this person
but
is
check
a
this
criminal.
out. Check this out. One of my thoughts was, she stole some money from her job. she stole a robe and she stole some toilet paper.
Yeah.
And it's like, didn't you have enough money to probably plan out your plan better?
Right.
You know, like it happened so fast. You know, also it was planning, but it was like, today I'm gonna fucking, you know, like she woke up in the morning and she's like, today's the day, you know, I'm out of here. You know. And my only thoughts on that is like,
and you deem that mental. It's laughable to me. That's mental, huh? That person knew. Woo.
no, it's you know,
Hey,
it's something to think about though.
so was Jeffrey Dahmer not mental then? He
He
eating
was
people, that's
mental.
mental. Right.
But it's
He was
it's
a
different.
psychopath, actually.
Right. There's different kinds of crazinesses. Not all the same. They're not all created equal. They're very different.
That's funny that you mentioned him because I was listening to his victim that escaped today. I was listening to his testimony, and you know he was saying how there were throughout the whole time he was there, like Domner would come back and forth, like he would talk to him like in the normal state, how he met him, you know, where it was like, you know, you wouldn't think nothing of him, like you would just think of him as a regular person, the way that he spoke. And then there was times he said when he was just sitting there rocking back and forth and like mumbling and humming and stuff. And so yeah, like you wouldn't even be able to tell.
Yeah.
Unless you've seen
I
all
would have
that
been
shit.
able to
Like,
tell. You kidnapped. I would be able to tell you the damn kidnapping.
But he didn't know that he was
Just 'cause
doing
you
that.
come
He told
talking-
him, he told them a story, like they were out and he met that guy with friends and they were talking, he was talking to them, telling him how he took, you know, pictures of people like modeling and stuff like that, and he paid them money. So this man said that at that time he needed money, you know, so that's why he went there. They were all supposed to meet up together, but he gave the other friends the wrong address, so that's how they didn't end up at the same place they were at. You know, it wasn't until late, you know, as he watched him and he seen what he was doing, and then he saw when he had came at him with a knife and had handcuffed him. At that point is when he realized, you know, like he's not safe. So
Right. But listen, due to the information that you and John talking about what makes somebody mental, right? Then we gotta go back in time. Then we gotta unlock some people and get them some help. Then that's in jail, because a lot of people got some stuff that didn't happen, and maybe they was mental.
goddamn hot tub time machine.
So we gotta. I'm not saying we gotta go back and look and reopen some cases up.
but I mean, we might, I mean, that's true, because like John was saying, like we don't take care of the mind like we're supposed to, you know, like a woman can go get plastic surgery and, you know, fix
No
her
such
face
thing as
and all these
crime,
things,
Crime
as all
is
these things,
dead.
but her mentality, like in the way that she thinks, is not going to change unless she like takes that direction to change how she thinks about herself, change how she, you know, how she feels and stuff like that. And all that
Jackie,
surgery and stuff is not
it's a
going to
quick
change
fix for her. Lock her up,
it.
and by the time she get out, you won't never have to worry about her doing that again. She won't be mental no more.
How much time should
No
she
med-
get?
No medicine needed.
How much time for this crime?
You can
If
get
you were
her,
the
man.
judge.
I'll give her a year in jail.
A year?
Yeah, one good spanking year for her. She get out, she won't be mental no more. No medicine at all. No psychiatrist at all. Just
What
lock her
about
behind the
probation?
bar.
What about probation?
No, don't even. No, that ain't doing nothing for her. That she
I've
needs
seen
to
a lot of
sit-
people get probation for, you know, less than that though.
No, but
Like-
she need to sit down there. Since y'all talking about the girl mental, put her in there.
Let her go.
If she's mental, if she's mental after she get out, she'll do something similar again.
Cut her a break.
I believe in redemption. Yeah, I'd give her a chance. I give her a chance.
She'll never do it again.
Because now the whole world knows who she is. They, you know, they done heard her story. They know her face. They know everything.
What you think
You might
about the
not-
rapper that's what you think about Melly, the rapper that's going to trial right now? Do you think he's mental too? He's trying to play crazy because of his mental talk. He in there kissing to the sky and acting like he praying, smiling, and he do all type of stuff in there. He don't even seem bothered that
Money
he's facing the death penalty. Huh?
Money doesn't make craziness. You can have money and celebrity and still be crazy.
I know that. I'm asking you, is he mental? He did a crime.
I'm not familiar with Nelly's problems. So tell me about it.
Me either.
Well, let's stick to the subject. How about that?
Okay.
No, I'm
It
just. I'm
feels like
trying
it's
prove
about
a
to go
point.
on a whole nother. I'm familiar because I talked to Mario. I know he was trying to get this in here, but this sounds like another.
No, I wasn't talking
episode.
about that. I'm talking
Somebody
about Nelly. I
else.
wasn't
He's
talking
talking
Lil
about
J.
somebody else.
Oh,
Little J
right.
is Little J is
No,
the
Lil
other one
J.
he was
Lil
talking
J
about.
he in jail for some other activities.
Uh-huh.
And we might can say he mental. Now I could give him mental.
Oh, he's
Happy
mental.
hour.
He's mental.
Yeah. A man that like another man, you got to be mental.
Mm. That's crazy.
That's that I would say that's mental. You liking the same sex, that's mental.
Well, meant to be.
John, what? John.
Homosexuality, it's natural. It affects 10% of our population. It affects 10% of a lot of species.
Oh, it ain't natural. It ain't natural.
No, I mean it's natural in terms
It
of
happens.
it's not unusual. Their behavior
It occurs. It
It's
occurs,
not
but it ain't natural.
unusual to be loved.
I mean it's probably a function of being human. You just sometimes it's maybe a form of birth control.
You born a man, and then one day you say, "I want to be a woman." That's mental to me. Now, I can get that some mental.
No, that's different. Remember, different degrees. You got to look at life like that. Different degrees. Not everyone feels the same way. Not everyone's sexuality is the same. It's not one or the other. We have to allow ourselves to listen to them so that we understand ourselves better. It's not one or the other. It never has been. These people aren't new. They've always been on the scene. They've just been kept away. Now they're asking for their time in the light, and we need to look at them and listen to them so that we can move on and do the greater things. That's how I feel about it in a nutshell.
Do you think pedophiles are mental?
That's something different. You can't put them in the same category.
I think they are mental.
Why not?
Yeah.
I think they would be
A
mental.
grown man want a baby. I think he's very mental.
No,
that would be mental. That would be fucking psychopath.
Why is he mental? Why is they not mental? But she is.
There's levels of that shit.
They're not mental. They're deviant. There's the difference. Like I said, degrees. Now it's not one or the other. That's a different particular behavior. Men that prey on children, it's not mental. That's a behavioral issue. That has nothing to do with your mind. It's something about them as human beings, as males, their predatory behavior. Not crazy.
Oh, they're predatory.
That's why they jail with everybody else, because they're not crazy. Everyone knows they're not crazy. I mean, you've seen from politicians of the highest level to firemen, actors, cops.
They're not crazy to you because they're not crazy to you because you know better, right?
I can't really talk about these. I can't really talk about like that kind of stuff on some of these platforms and stuff. So
why not?
Because I'm gonna get flagged, shit like that.
Yeah. No, okay. We could bring it
like
back.
YouTube soon. And shit, it will fucking flag me for the shit.
No, it's just because the words, like if you do talk about it, you have to know, like you have to use different words. Like you gotta say like peas and stuff like that.
Sick.
Yeah.
You see, now I think that's mental too. Society is mental, coming up with all these enunciations and stuff. Like, stop that. Like, you can't talk about something, even though you know what we're talking about. You just can't say nothing. That's crazy.
So do you guys think that people are gonna like react less to if somebody else comes missing and it hits the headlines? Because there are a lot of other like children, women, and people become missing, but not all of them like hit the headlines. Do you think they're gonna like not show as much attention to it or be skeptical about it now because of this situation?
I don't even think they do show enough attention. That's like as many people that come up missing every day. Like you'll rarely see anything. Amber Alert ain't good enough and shit. Like
I think
the police need to police this type of shit.
They might show attention it depends if it's all about the media. If the media makes it a big deal, right?
Mhm.
Then it'll be that. But if us as the people, if we don't make it a big deal when somebody is missing, and there's so many people that's missing, that's coming up missing, that people feel like I can't make all of them a big deal. You know what I mean?
Well,
And so
sex
some of them,
offenders, they could live right in your neighborhood too. Your
Right.
next door neighbor or something and shit.
yeah, well, they got the app that can show you.
Yeah. They should be put on an island. You know.
It's so many of them living around you. It shows you that. You know what I mean? And you be like, man, they say somebody live. They ain't gonna. They can't put all the business, but they put it out there to a certain degree where you know that they're around, so you can just be aware of that.
Mhm.
But yeah, man.
You
That's what I'm
know,
saying.
Yeah, this is a behavior that goes back in since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Us protecting our children now, that's a great thing, because before there was no protection for children. It's way better now than it ever has been. I hope it keeps getting better. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it ain't. I wouldn't say it's better because you still have people abusing kids every day with this agenda that we can't talk about.
Mm. Mm.
They just found another way to do it. They hid up under the umbrella, of the topic that we can't talk about.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. Human trafficking though, that's a big pandemic,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
just find
that
other ways to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? It happens, and look, it happens so frequently, and not on the radar, because a lot of them not reported. A lot of kids is being abused and is not being reported.
Man, that's part of the deviance of the pedophile. Pedophilia is not just an individual thing. Pedophilia sometimes it's an organization. It's
Yeah.
adults that are in charge of things, and unfortunately, this is some of the things they do.
See,
Several
John,
children.
you let me know every day. You know some stuff there, young man. You know some stuff. You know what's going on.
I don't know nothing, man.
Because the
I watch.
powers to be is the very ones that is on that. You feel me? They own that.
No, there's no other way around it, man. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing that, I hate to say it, it's mostly men that do it. They're the ones that drive that industry, if it is an industry. They're the
I
ones
wish
that
we could
drive
do a podcast on Pizzagate.
pizza.
on what?
Oh, I know y'all didn't heard of Pizzagate. I wish we could do a podcast
Pizza?
on that.
The
Pizzagate
the QAnon thing.
is a because we can't. He said we can't talk about it like that, but it's a little thing. Is a little thing that's going on called Pizzagate, and it involves people messing with the babies in a strange way, and and it's a part of Hollywood. It's a part of the government. Is the powers to be. It's a part of all that.
I don't know if it works like that. I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It works like that because I didn't dug deep into that at that time, and yes, it's a part of that. They put it and they was putting it right in your face on TV with the symbolism stuff, having the kids eating pizza and making certain jokes that we never got because we didn't pay attention too hard. But I saw a compilation video where they picked out all that stuff and showed you, and you was like, oh man, them dirty jokes for kids. Oh wow. And so yeah, it's going on, and while we talking about this missing person, when you hear those Amber Alerts all the time, and most of those are the babies being missing, little girls and little boys, and we know what they're doing, to these kids. Just I'm not the type of person though that lets you off the hook. I'm not gonna settle for somebody talking about somebody mental when they doing crazy stuff out here. You did something stupid, you got to pay for it.
We just got to believe in each other. That's all. We got to do I mean, in order to run a better world, we got to start doing things right. We're getting there. We just got a long way to go. We're moving towards that. 20 years ago, the story would have been way different, but now we're introducing mental health as being part of the problem. But 20 years ago, they might have would have said it also. But I think there's just a greater effort. What she's doing is going to highlight mental illness. I know you don't believe it, but she's going to bring it.
Give her a cold jail cell and a pill, and she'll be all right then.
Appeal.
That'll serve her time on medicine then, but she going to jail, in my eyes.
So do they give them like a certain amount of time for them to reach back to the police, or like?
I mean, I think they want to interview her like ASAP, while the information is more fresh, the faster you do it, the better, and obviously she might be stalling for time, trying to come up with another wild story that basically is not going to make a difference. They have all the information they need. And if they need to make an arrest, there's probable cause,
Yeah.
Everything she's done, she's brought it upon herself. But there's a component there, that'll never go away. Redemption, give her redemption.
If you let her off the hook, then
not
I
off
don't want
the
to hear
hook.
nobody. I don't want to hear nobody else talking about. And that boy was mental too. That punched that lady. He mental too.
He could have been. I mean, anybody's
Look at
gonna
that.
punch somebody.
The only problem that he had mentally, that he thought that he could just do whatever he wanted to do. That's what I'm gonna give him.
Hmm.
Man, these people ain't mental. The
Restaurant.
guy that punched that lady and he got killed.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
The fact that karma came right back real soon on him shows you that he's not mental, because God gave him a whooping right there.
I mean, what they were arguing about was stupid. I'm just saying, I mean, he had to be mental or something to escalate so quickly that you think punching a woman in public was the smartest thing to do. I mean, something must be wrong with you. I can't imagine a man.
Society is messed up right now, John, especially in Chicago. The culture. That's what that is.
Bad.
It's gang bang. Everybody got to be over tough. You know what I'm saying? No respect. That's not mental all the time. It's people get up here, they want to be over tough and make decisions and do and it's just crazy. So that's why he did what he did, because he wanted to be over tough.
But you don't think those violent lifestyles growing into it, from the day you're born, violence, death, drugs, absentee parents, you don't think that can mentally break you down and scar you mentally, and that scars how you go through life?
Yeah, I mean, you got a form of it, because it's it messed with your mentality a little bit, but at the same time, that man knew right from wrong. He knew when you know that you're doing something wrong, and he chose not to control himself. He chose to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't a threat to him. So
that the hair trigger, you got a safety lock on your trigger. I do too. His is just a hair trigger. We got to identify that he wasn't right the whole time. Him gangbanging, that's like we said earlier, he could function like everybody else, but deep down inside, he's a hair trigger about to just go off. You can't take that away. Crazy is what crazy does at that moment. You don't have to do it all the time. It's just in that moment, you knew something was wrong. The way they did it, they let it all out. There's a lot of gang members that have mental illness. I don't doubt it. And they probably have a history of it. And the people in the gang, they're not going to turn him down, especially if he's dangerous and violent. He could do what needs to be done because he has no remorse. I mean, that's a perfect gang member. It doesn't have to be right. It has to be violent.
Right. But at the same time, he know better, because see, these people, when in certain situations, they'll control themselves. You know what I'm saying? He know who to hit. He wouldn't just walk up and hit anybody. He hit that lady because he knew that lady couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
So he did that to her. That's not mental to me. That's the person you made your mind up to do something.
Wow, but to hit a woman like that, man, I mean, come on, man. I mean,
They lost their mind. They lost their mind out here.
you
You
just
know,
mentioned
there's no
lost his mind.
love.
Oh,
Now, see, John, I would go to religion on you, but you say you don't believe in the Bible. But you know, the Bible said that the world would be like this. It said that people will be lovers of themselves, you know, and they will have no respect. It said this in the Bible, and we're looking at that right now. So for the ones that don't believe the Bible, the Bible was right. So that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's the take on it. I got you.
Right. You might need to bust that book open.
I don't know. I already got my answer for that one. But anyway.
Maybe
Yeah,
we should do a
man.
Bible study podcast.
Look, John, like, hey, I won't be a part of that.
No, I could always listen to it. You know, I'm not against listening to it. You know,
One day you might
it.
listen to it, John, and you might, you know, might get converted over.
Converted. Now you get converted.
God can touch the heart. God can touch the heart.
You can,
Yeah.
I think
What you
like
over there
saying,
drinking, boy?
I think like saying like you'll be blessed like with the word, but converted is like a different kind of word.
There
It's
goes
kind
Jackie. I gotta fight everything a man says. You know what I'm saying? Everything a man says,
I'm
you gotta
just
shoot
saying,
down like a
converted
bird
sounds
out the-
like a cult. Like you're going to a
That ain't
cult.
that
or
ain't
something.
no. You getting convert only means that you heard something, you believed it, and you joined it. That's what that means. Don't so that's another. That's you know maybe you maybe you're on to something with that mental stuff. If you didn't know that. That's all that means. So even the Bible talks about people got converted over to you know to the word and everything like that. That don't make it a cult.
All right, so let's wrap this up. All right, final thoughts.
Next time, take care of yourself and each other. Final thoughts.
Mind if I leave? I mean, you know, I just want to say, I with the information presented to me, you know, I knew the earlier parts. You know, Jackie filled me in on a lot of details. I'd like to see them do what they need to do to get it right, not just do it because the public's upset. To me, it sounded like she had a psychological break. And for the meanwhile, while she's in this break, she's doing ridiculous things, thinking somehow the attention. Do you remember this woman, Susan Smith? Does that name sound familiar? She was someone that held a press conference to say that someone took her kids. She had the whole country up in arms looking for someone who took her kids. But she drowned her kids in the back of a car and put it in the river. You remember her?
Was that in the 90s?
In the 90s. Her
Okay,
body,
I remember that story.
her body told us she was lying. You know, allow this woman, if she's going to do a press conference, allow her to tell the truth. You can't lie to the public and not do something weird, because lying is not really a natural thing. You know, some people could do it because they're good at it, but it ain't natural. You know, contrary to how people really are. So she needs help.
Okay, so I'm gonna agree with you on this. Like, I still don't think she have a mental problem, but I do agree due to if some people think that she have a mental problem, I think that before they slap the cuffs on her and throw her in jail, I think they should try to get a, you know, some you know, a psychiatrist and talk to her. So yeah, at least get her evaluated.
Mhm.
That's fair. That's
There we
fair.
go. There we go.
Yeah.
And then throw it right in jail when they evaluate it, because the answer gonna come back. She ain't mental.
Mhm. I want to say that for one, I hope that people don't react slowlier to other situations like this, just because of this situation. Because, you know, we shouldn't like shed the light lightly on these situations. Like we should always, you know, like they said, it's it's not better. Like, it's sad to say that this is a hoax. Like, it's better that it is a hoax than it being real, because if it was real, she wouldn't be back at home. And also, I hope that she's able to stand in front of everybody and tell her story, so that, you know, we can see what's going on. You know, I mean, I think that it's only right for us to see, because we did follow, you know, everybody was sharing. There was people praying, you know, and sending money and doing all this stuff, you know. So I only think it's right that she stands in front of everybody and tells her story, so that we know.
All right. Well, I mean, my final thoughts would be for like the parents, it would be, you know, they got something, like they you know, they were praying like, please let this be somehow a joke, you know, or something. And my daughter didn't really just come up missing, kidnapped, and I'll never see her again. So for them, they got their you know, a miracle, you know. So it all turned out good, basically, for everybody. Nobody was hurt, you know. That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Big Fan Pocket.
Hey, I said that too at first. I'm like, at least this person is alive and not, you know, dead somewhere.
Right.
Did he just say I said that first?
He said that
No,
at first. He said that at
I'm talking
first.
about when I first heard the,
Mhm.
you know, the situation, because
The
I
story.
did. Yeah, because we didn't at first. I didn't even know if, you know, that y'all the one told me that today, that, you know, that they found out that it was all made up. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm thinking, like, nobody talked to her yet. You know what I'm saying, to find certain details out. So I was just thinking, like, what if this lady really did get kidnapped and escaped, and everybody is bashing her, and instead of being happy that the girl is alive. So, you know, that's what I was saying at first. But since now we got more information, you know, the lady, she just low down,
Okay.
low down, dirty lady.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. You know, I had a great time. It's always a pleasure.